Story time, story time, story time again. Story time, story time, story time again.
Hi, my name is Miss Barbara, and I'm the children's librarian at the San Bruno Library. I'm here to share stories with you today as part of our Storytime show, Once Upon a Time. Today we're going to learn about dragon stories. So I have several dragon stories to share with you. I'm really excited about that. And I want to remind you too that you can come and see Storytime for yourself in person at the San Bruno Library. Also, all of these books are available for you to check out, and more dragon books too. Okay, are you ready? Good. Let's get started. We're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. Hi ho the merry-o. We're glad you're here today. Yay! Okay, here's our first book. It's called The Best Pet of All. And this is by David La Rochelle with pictures by Hanako Wakayama. Let's find out about the best pet of all. On Monday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a good pet, I said. No, she said. Dogs are too messy. On Tuesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a very good pet, I said. No, she said. Dogs are too loud. On Wednesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is the best pet of all, I said. No, she said. No dogs. On Thursday, I asked my mother if I could have a dragon. A dragon, she said. I have never heard of a dragon for a pet. She thought about it a bit. If you can find a dragon, you can keep it for a pet. Dragons are not easy to find. There were no dragons in the park. There were no dragons at the beach. There were no dragons in the woods. There were no dragons at the zoo. At last, I found a dragon. This dragon was at the drugstore. He was wearing dark glasses and a hat. I asked the dragon to come home with me. The dragon said, no. You can sleep in my bed, I said. He still would not come. You can play with my toys, I said. The dragon said yes. Dragons like to play with toys, but they do not like to put them away. They do not like to help with chores, and they make a mess in the kitchen. They roast hot dogs in the living room, and they dance to loud music all night long. My mother did not like this dragon. She asked the dragon to please leave. The dragon would not go. Then she told the dragon to leave now. The dragon still would not go. Finally, my mother got angry. She stomped her foot. She told the dragon to leave this minute or else. The dragon just shook his head. He went back to eating spaghetti in the bathtub. Too bad we do not have a dog, I said. Dragons do not like dogs. The dragon looked worried. Dragons are afraid of dogs, I said. The dragon began to shake. A dog would chase the dragon away, I said. The dragon ran to my toy box and jumped inside. Maybe you are right, my mother said. Maybe we need a dog. I put a sign in the window. Dog wanted. Soon there was a knock at the door. It was a dog. The dragon saw the dog. He grabbed his hat and ran out the door. "Thank goodness we have a dog," said my mother. "A dog is a good pet." My dog wagged its tail. "Yes," I said, "a dog is the best pet of all." And that's the best pet of all. So for our next story, I have a book about, of course, dragons. This is called The Dragon Machine, written by Helen Ward with pictures by Wayne Anderson. And there's a dog in this one too. George noticed his first real dragon on a rainy Thursday, and the more he looked, the more dragons he saw. Ignored and overlooked, the dragons went unnoticed, just like George. And we've got a dragon, and a dragon nose, and a dragon tail, and some dragon legs. You'll have to check this book out and find all the dragons in this book. Dragons perched on the telephone wires and lurked in the trash cans. And that's when the trouble began. Oops. There we go. They chased butterflies through the tulips. They teased the cat. They sank the water lilies in the pond. Here we go. Here's where the trouble began. George fed them stale cookies and smelly cheese. The dragons followed George everywhere. George spent more and more time cleaning up muddy footprints and saying he was sorry for breaking things he had not broken. George's dragons were becoming too troublesome to stay unnoticed for much longer. Something had to be done. George went in search of advice. Where do you think he went? The library. The dragons followed George to the library. He consulted the Encyclopedia of Dragons. There were dire warnings. Never feed a dragon. Never let a dragon into your home. Too late, thought George. There were also tragic tales of dragons discovered and captured. And then he found a map of the place where dragons belonged. It was a great wilderness, ignored and overlooked and safe, but George knew he would have to show them the way. Here be dragons. George drew plans for a machine. The machine had a beginning, a middle, and a tail end. It had lots of pipes and pulleys and beautiful, strong wings. George hammered in the last nail. He packed cookies and smelly cheese and then climbed up into the cockpit. His dragon machine lumbered, engine ticking gently into the night sky, and the dragons followed. The machine clicked and whirred over the sleeping town. It rattled and clunked over the moonlit fields and woods. The dragons followed. It clattered and banged and blundered into the great wilderness with a crash. The dragons followed. George was so tired from his journey that he fell asleep in the wreckage of his dragon machine. By morning, all the dragons were gone. There was an emptiness all around and inside George. And an emptiness at home where George should have been. His parents searched the town. They searched the fields. They ventured into the great wilderness looking for George and found him among the broken pieces of his dragon machine. George and his dreams of dragons went home. Everyone was happy to see George, and George was happy to be back. He was no longer ignored or overlooked. His parents baked a huge cake to celebrate his return and even gave him a dog, there's our dog, as a present. George was the only one who noticed that there was something unusual about his dog. And George loved him even more. And that's the Dragon Machine. So I have one more short book that I want to share with you before we take a break. This is called The Knight and the Dragon. This is a story and pictures by Tommy de Paula. And this is kind of an interesting book because it doesn't have very many words in it. It's almost like a comic book. There's the castle. There's the dragon's cave. Once upon a time, there was a knight in a castle who never fought a dragon. And in a cave not too far away was a dragon who had never fought a knight. One day, the knight went to the castle library and took out all of the books he could find on dragon fighting. Meanwhile, back at the cave, the dragon had rummaged through all the things from his ancestors and found some books on knight fighting. How to fight dragons, how to fight knights. The knight began to build some armor building, melting, forging, making. The dragon practiced swishing his tail. The art of tail swishing he's reading. Swish, swish. Meanwhile, back at the castle, we've got swords, bows, lances, maces, shields. He's all ready. Meanwhile, back at the cave, there the dragon's practicing his scary looks. Rawr. The knight's practicing against a fake dragon. The dragon's practicing against a fake knight. Not much success. Then finally, crash! Burn! Finally, the knight and the dragon were both ready. They sent each other a letter and set a time for the fight. To Sir Knight from B. Dragon Esquire. To B. Dragon Esquire from Sir Knight. Gallop, 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 gallop. Oh no, they missed each other. Here they are, ready or not. A mess. Here comes the librarian with some books. Let's find out what she brings them. The Outdoor Cookbook. How to build a barbecue. Let's study those. And here we go. We have D. Dragon and Sir Knight, proprietors of the K&D Barbecue. They opened a restaurant. The end. So that is The Knight and the Dragon. Don't go away. I have some more fun dragon books for you after the break, so stay tuned. We'll see you in a minute.
Be free. Nice, Dad. Nice, Dad. Nice.
Charles!
Nice, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
He scores!
smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Be out there. Be out there.
Be out there. Be out there.
Time was, kids did what came naturally. Spending free time running barefoot through the grass, wading knee-deep in streams, climbing to the tallest branch. But today, American kids are more likely found texting, watching TV, or gazing at a computer screen. They spend more than 7 hours in front of electronic media. Something essential has been lost: childhood's connection to the natural world. That's why National Wildlife Federation created the Be Out There movement. Kids move indoors causes a host of problems, from obesity to ADHD. But outdoor play can go a long way to improving kids' health, body, mind, and spirit. It helps them stay fit, enhances creativity and attention spans, and could even make them better students. Do your part. Be a part of Be Out There. There's a reason why they call it the great outdoors. Learn more at beoutthere.org.
Be out there!
1 in 3 Americans suffer with a deadly disease. I was one of them. My disease was obesity. And after consulting with my doctor, I received the effective treatment I needed. Please join the Obesity Action Coalition to acknowledge obesity as a disease. Visit obesityaction.org to sign an open letter pledging your support, and for more information about how to talk to your doctor about weight loss and treatment options. Together, we can make a choice to end obesity now.
A public service from the Obesity Action Coalition.
Welcome back. We're going to continue Once Upon a Time, the cable story time of the San Bruno Library, with some more dragon stories. Okay, are you ready? This one is called That Pesky Dragon by Julie Sykes, with pictures by Melanie Williamson. Izzy's dad had a farm. And on that farm, there was a herd of cows, a goat, a flock of sheep, some chickens, 2 dogs, and a dragon. It didn't take anyone very long to realize that there was a dragon on the farm. Its fierce roar gave it away. When Izzy stood on tiptoes and peered out of her window, she could just see the tip of the dragon's tail by the well on the top of the hill. Roar! Can we go and look at it? Asked Izzy. Certainly not, said Dad. Dragons are far too dangerous. If we leave it alone, it'll be gone by tomorrow. But the next morning, it was the roar of the dragon, and not the rooster, that woke Izzy from her cozy dream. Roar! It's still here, thought Izzy, secretly pleased, but she was in for a shock when she went out into the cold to gather the eggs for breakfast. These eggs feel rock hard, said Izzy as she shivered her way around the hen house. It's that pesky dragon, said Grandpa angrily. His fiery breath has hard-boiled the eggs. Izzy was desperate to see the dragon, but Mom wouldn't hear of it. That dragon's a mean one. You can tell from its roar, she said. I think it sounds sad, said Izzy. Can't I take a tiny peek? Roar! Definitely not, said Mom. Go inside, and with luck it will fly away soon. But the dragon did not fly away. That afternoon, when Izzy went outside to help Mom milk the cows, they were in for another shock. Yogurt! Cried Izzy. Oh dear, said Mom. It's that pesky dragon's fault. Its roaring has scared the cows and turned their milk to yogurt. Roar! By the next morning, it was the light of the dragon's fiery breath, and not the light of the rising sun that woke Izzy. A lovely smell was drifting up the stairs. Toast, cried Izzy, sliding down the banister. It's not toast. It's my prize wheat, said Dad bitterly. That pesky dragon burned a whole field in the night. This can't go on. I'm calling, remove a dragon. Do-do-do. Not remove a dragon, shrieked Izzy. Why don't you just ask the dragon to leave? "It's far too dangerous," said Dad, picking up the phone. "It's fierce, that dragon. Just listen to its roar." "Roar! It sounds hurt, not fierce, if you ask me," said Izzy. "Run along now while I make this call," said Dad. So Izzy ran. She ran out of the farmhouse, past the chicken coop, through the cow pasture, and all the way up the hill toward the dragon. Suddenly Izzy was scared. What if the dragon was dangerous? What if it was hungry? What if it ate little girls for breakfast? She panicked. But it was too late. The dragon had already seen her. Izzy took a brave step forward. She could see the scales on its tail and feel the heat of its breath, but the big, roaring, scary dragon was just a tiny dragon trapped in the well and crying for help. "I've been shouting for help for days," the dragon cried. Izzy ran back down the hill and got Mom, Dad, Grandpa, and the Remove-A-Dragon lady to help. "They look scary," whispered the dragon as they marched toward him. "Don't worry," said Izzy. "Sit still and don't breathe, or you might singe us when we pull you out." The dragon held its breath while Izzy, the Remove-A-Dragon lady, Mom, Dad, and Grandpa pulled and pulled and pulled until, pop! The dragon was free. Yay! Now Izzy's dad has a farm with a herd of cows, a flock of sheep, some chickens, a goat, 2 dogs, 3 cats, and a dragon. And now Izzy loves cold mornings. With a dragon around, there's always hot milk, hard-boiled eggs, and toast for breakfast. And that's the story of the pesky dragon. Okay, my next book is called The Pet Dragon. This is a story about adventure, friendship, and Chinese characters, so you have to watch for the Chinese characters in here. This is written and illustrated by Christoph Niemann. This is Lynn. And here's her character. Here's the character. It says person. One day, Lynn received a very special gift, a baby dragon. And here it says small. Lynn and her pet dragon did everything together. They played hide and seek. Tree, woods, forest. They made new friends. Cow, sheep, dog, worm. They perfected their ping pong skills. Middle, right here. They told each other exciting stories. Woman, warrior, or gentleman. The dragon loved to play soccer. "Uh-oh!" cried Lynn. She saw the ball sail towards an old vase. Aye. Crash! The vase burst into 100 pieces, which was heard by her ear. Lynn knew they were in trouble. Big, big trouble from Father. "From now on, your dragon must stay in a cage," said Lynn's father. The dragon is a prisoner. Lynn wasn't very happy about this, and neither was the baby dragon. The next morning, when Lynn went to check on her pet, the cage was empty, and her mouth says, "Oh no, my dragon is gone." Lynn couldn't believe it. "Where is my baby dragon? Where did my dragon go?" Lynn had to find it. She's using her words. First, Lynn searched her house. No dragon. Then she searched the entire city. No dragon. Where could she be? She started walking. She saw a gate, people at work, and walking through the mountains. Lynn came to a huge wall that stretched all way to the horizon. She looked and she looked and she looked. It was so long. But still there was no sign of her dragon. Lynn came to a wide river. She saw a curious little lady standing near the edge of the water. "My dear girl," the lady said in a cackling voice, "I need to get to the other side, but I can't swim. Please, help, lift me up." So Lynn did, and she carried the little lady across the water, with the lady above and Lynn below. Lynn let the witch down gently on the other side. "Dear little one," the witch said, "a favor deserves a favor. I know where to find what you are looking for." Zap! A jar appeared in the witch's hand, a jar with beans in it. She removed a magic bean from the jar and ate it. She chewed it very slowly. She began to shake and rumble. The little witch started to grow and grow and grow, so big. Soon she was as tall as a mountain, reaching the sky. "Come here, little Lynn," she said, her voice booming. "I am going to help you find your friend." And she lifted Lynn through the clouds. Lynn couldn't believe her eyes. There was the dragon, all grown up and beautiful, her friend. Was this the dragon's true home and the dragon's real family? Whoosh! The dragon flew Lynn all the way back to the city where she lived. The two friends made plans to be together often. Lynn's father was so happy to see his daughter. He thanked the dragon for bringing Lynn home and promised the two friends that they could play together whenever they wanted. Then they celebrated with fireworks. And that is the pet dragon. And that brings us to the end of this dragon story time. And I want to tell you, I found so many dragon books here at the San Bruno Library. I'd love to share some with you. So come down and visit us and check out some books. We'll see you soon.
So sit me down and let the spell begin. I'll find myself in story time again. Story time, story